Everyone, welcome to another Agenda IDS. I am Patricia Porto, the Academic Coordinator of Dannemann Siemsen Institute. Agenda IDS is an online event in which we address important topics regarding intellectual property law and technology. I always invite experts on the subject to share their experience with us. And those who miss the live event will be able to access the record content available later on the Dannemann Siemsen Institute website. And today, we will debate about the programs promoted by the e-commerce platform Mercado Livre, namely the Brand Protection Program, known as BPP, and the Anti-Counterfeiting Alliance, known as MACA. Both initiatives aim to assist intellectual property owners in protecting their rights on the platform. And to discuss these topics today, we invite two experts on the subject. And now, please let me introduce our guests. We have with us today Guadalupe Garcia Crespo. Welcome, Guadalupe. Guadalupe is an intellectual property manager at Mercado Livre. She's an attorney, graduated from the University of Buenos Aires, and an industrial property agent. She holds a master's degree in intellectual property law from Austria University, that is pending, and has completed the Internet Law, Communication, and Technology programs at the University of Sant Andreas. Also with us today, we have Bárbara Castro. Welcome, Bárbara. Bárbara is a senior intellectual property analyst at Mercado Livre. She holds a degree from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, a postgraduate qualification in intellectual property from the Pontifical Catholic University of Rio de Janeiro, and a master's degree in media and streaming platform regulation from the Rui Barbosa Foundation. To moderate the event, we invite Fernanda Salomão Mascarenhas. Welcome, Fernanda. Fernanda is a lawyer and partner at Dannemann Siemsen. Specializing in trademarks and fair competition, Fernanda advised both national and international clients across a wide range of industry. I would like to thank you very much, our guests, for being here with us today. And now I will give the floor to Fernanda. Fernanda, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Patricia. I would like to congratulate our brilliant speakers and dear colleagues. Thank you again, Babi and Guada, for accepting our invitation to participate in the webinar. I would also like to thank our audience for joining us in the webinar. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all today. As I am sure you are all aware, Mercado Livre is the largest e-commerce technology company in Latin America, operating in 18 countries with over 100 million users. The online platform provides solutions for buying, selling, listing, shipping, and paying for goods and services, catering to both business and industrials. Today, Babi and Guada will guide us through the main aspects covering BPP and MACA, such as what are these programs and their purpose, the main contents of the BPP's policy and main features of the platform, do's and don'ts regarding the use of the BPP platform, the advantages of taking a proactive approach to the protection of IP rights through the BPP program and MACA. I'm sure we will all learn a lot. Babi and Guada will give us a brief presentation covering these and other aspects, and then we will open to questions from the audience. Now, without further delay, I'll pass the word to Babi and Guada. It's with you, girls.
Let me present here.
Yes, now we see the presentation. Thanks, Babi. Okay. And thanks, Dannemann and Patricia and Fernanda for the invitation. It's an honor to be here. So we are going to start, as Fernanda mentioned, we have this presentation. It's an overview of the different initiatives at Mercado Livre. And of course, we then will open the floor to any questions you may have. I think that, Fernanda, they can leave any questions in the chat while we are speaking, and we can address them later. So, Babi, do you want to? Yes, thank you very much. So for those who are not familiarized with Mercado Libre, and Fernanda mentioned this a few minutes ago, Mercado Libre, it's an e-commerce platform that operates in 18 countries in Latin America. We only operate in Latin America, and between those 18 countries, we don't have cross-border operations. So each country functions like a local market in that sense. To give you an overview of the size of the company, we currently have more than 75,000 employees or collaborators in our company. We have offices in 8 countries in Latin America. Brazil is one of them. And we have more than 80 million users. I want you to keep in mind this information that I'm going to mention now, because it's going to be useful for you to understand the size and the volume of the information that we have to monitor and manage. For you to have an idea, per hour, more than 135,000 listings are created or modified in the platform. And these are regional numbers. And of course, we are going to share that afterwards, but for you to know as well, every 6 months, the company releases a transparency report in which we inform on different measures and programs that we have, not only focus on IP matters, but also on data privacy matters or regulatory matters. So these numbers are part of the latest transparency report that we released. And you're going to find that 97% of the listings that were removed in this period of time, the first half of this year, due to infringements to our terms and conditions, were proactively removed. And if you analyze these regarding specifically intellectual property infringements, the number is 90%. So 90% of the listings that were removed in the first half of this year because of intellectual property infringements were proactively removed by Mercado Libre. In the next few slides, we are going to talk about how we work on these proactive measures and what are our incomes and our inputs regarding how to better detect an IP infringements. But just keep in mind this number. Bobby, can we move forward? Thank you. So a very quick overview on the policies that Mercado Libre has in place. We can group them in 3 main policies. The first one is prohibited products. And this policy, which has more than 50 different categories in each of the country, addresses different regulatory matters. So products that are not allowed to be sold on an online environment because of the law, or because of policies of the company that Mercado Libre has decided not to allow offers of particular products in our marketplace, are part of this policy. And we do have a regulatory matters and regulatory affairs team that works more like the workflow that we are going to mention you in the next few slides. So we do have collaboration with authorities. We do have programs for authorities. We do proactively remove based on regulatory infringements. And the second policy is the forbidden practices. So it's not that we are only looking for products that shouldn't be offered in our platform, but we are also looking for practices in the sellers that could imply that they are trying to foster or expose buyers to a potential scamming. So these kind of practices are also something that we are looking for to sanction our sellers if we identify they have committed one. And last but not least is the intellectual property rights infringements policy. And this is what we are talking about today, and we are going to deep dive in many aspects of this policy. And this policy is the same in all the 18 countries in which we operate. And it covers not only trademarks or copyrights, but also different types of infringements to other types of IP rights, like related rights, patents, and industrial designs. So to enforce these 3 policies, we have different channels, different reporting channels. The first one is the one that we make available to any user in our platform. So you're going to find, if hopefully you are a user of Mercado Libre's platform, you're going to find that you have the possibility in each listing to report the listing due to different potential infringements that you can find. Most of the reasons to report a listing are related to consumer laws infringement, but any user, even if they have not bought or purchased the product that is being offered, can report the listing if they find or that it's an offer of a counterfeit product, for instance. So that is a reason related to intellectual property matters that is included in this possibility for any user. But for a specific and exclusive channel to report any kind of infringements to any kind of IP rights, and Bobby is going to talk about this later, we have the brand protection program. We also have cooperation and collaboration agreements with different public and private stakeholders that are in our region and outside our region. So with them, we collaborate by providing them an exclusive channel to report in the case of authorities, and by sharing information on or sellers that might be committing a crime. And also, we share our knowledge and exchange knowledge and learnings on how to better detect infringements on our platform. So now I'm going to leave the floor to Bobby so she can deep dive in our notice and take them mechanism. Bobby?
Thank you so much, Guada. Well, good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to say that it's an honor to be gathered here with professionals that I much admire, and some of them former colleagues from Dannemann. I also thank IDS, Patricia, and Fernanda for the generous invitation to be here today. I hope that everyone who is watching the webinar and also those who will watch the webinar later on can find relevant information for their business about our programs and initiatives. Well, so following on what Guadalupe just said, I would like to talk about a little bit about our brand protection program, which relates to the third policy Guadalupe has just mentioned, the intellectual property infringements policy. So our brand protection program, or BPP, as we commonly call it, is an exclusively channel directed to intellectual property rights owners or their representatives to defend their intellectual property rights on our platform. This means that once you create your account in the program, you'll be able to include this entire range of intellectual property rights. So you may include in your account your trademarks, which will allow you to report listings, for example, that contain counterfeit products, listings that present an unlawful use of your trademarks, or even products not meant for sale, with a disclaimer that these complaints for parallel imports are only allowed in Brazil. You may also include your copyrights, which means that you may report listings that infringe your or your client's copyrights, such as a book, original photos, training courses, video games, music, among many others. Also are included in the program the related rights, which means you may report listings that are infringing rights of performers or producers, and also rights of broadcasting and organizations. And finally, you may report listings containing infringements of your industrial designs and models, patents, utility models, and plant breeders' rights. These are just some examples of types of listings that can be reported through BPP in your account, and have many others types of rights you can report. And now you may be wondering, how can I be part of this amazing program to start reporting listings that infringe my rights or my clients' rights? Well, the enrollment process is very simple, and all of this information that we are presenting here is available on our website. If you type BPP plus Mercado Livre on Google, you certainly find our page where you can check all of the necessary documents and also more information about our program. But basically, to be part of the program, you will need to First of all, select the type of account you would like to create. That means you need to indicate if you are the right owner or their representative. Second, you will complete the account information, adding your name, documents, and the necessary information. And as a third step, you will enroll your intellectual property rights. That means you need to prepare the required documents. And if we're talking about, for example, a trademark, you're going to need to present your registration certificate. If you are representing a client, you're going to need to present your POA. And after you include all of these documents, you will indicate your account manager information. That means you indicate who will be responsible for managing your account. And finally, you will indicate the public details of your account. Those are the details that anyone can see regarding your account. And once again, all of this information is detailed on our website, and we invite everyone who is not yet a member of the program to join and exercise your client's rights or your own rights. And moving on to how to access your BPP, the BPP account and the BPP reporting tool. Well, once you have completed your application by submitting the corresponding documentation, you have to wait for a response to your application, which normally takes 48 hours after the submission of the form. And in case there is any information missing, any documentations missing, our team will request you to provide this information. And once your membership is duly approved, you need to create your account. That means creating your login, your credentials, and then you can start reporting in our platform. It's very easy. And now I am going to talk about a little bit of our reporting process, how it works. The BPP adopts a notice and take down process. So that means that once you have your account, you're going to search for infringements. You're going to use our tool to find the allegedly infringing listings, and then you will report these listings, selecting the grounds of your claim. I mean, if it's a trademark, you're going to indicate what is the reason you're reporting that listing. And then Mercado Livre notifies the seller, which will have 4 calendar days to respond to your report. And in the moment the listing is reported, we immediately pause the reported listing. That means that no one will be able to buy the product announced in this listing. And after that 4-day period, the member who reported the listing will also have 4 calendar days to review the counter notice. And meanwhile, it's important to reinstate that the listing is still not reinstated in the platform during the process of 4 days and 4 days. And then once you review as a member, once you review the documentations, you will decide if the documentations present are able to verify the listings and able to verify that that listing is not infringing your rights or your client rights. And if you agree and if you accept this documentation, the listing will then be reinstated. On the other hand, if as a right owner, a member, you analyze the documentations and you understand that this documentation is not able to verify that the listing is not infringing your IP rights or your client's IP rights, the listing will be permanently removed and the seller's behaviors is going to be analyzed by Mercado Livre for potential additional sanctions. And now I pass the floor over back to Guadalupe.
Thank you, Bobby. Mercedes Suarez has just leave for us 2 questions. I think, Mercedes, that I'm going to answer one of them with this slide. And in the next few slides, I'm going to answer the second one. But please let me know if you have any additional questions after we talk about this slide. So Mercedes asked first whether this program is only for Brazil. And that is, I really thank you for this question. This is a great question because the program is a regional program and different from how the marketplace, remember that I mentioned that we operate in 18 countries and each country operates like a local market, the program functions differently because we know that IP owners might have a regional IP portfolio. So you can, as Bobby was mentioning before, you can open a single account through which you can enforce in all the 18 countries from that account. So it's not only available in Brazil, it's available in the 18 countries in which we operate. But not only that, you can enforce your rights from a single account in all the 18 countries. So a few tips and information that it's important for you to have in mind when you use our brand protection program or notice and take down mechanism. First of all, there's no charges associated or costs associated with opening an account and using the brand protection program. You don't need to be a seller or a user of the marketplace in the country in which you are. This program operates in parallel. So you don't have to have an account on the marketplace to have an account on the brand protection program. But even though it functions separately, you can do searches as if you were searching for a product in the marketplace in real time. So there's no difference if you search for something in the program and in the marketplace, you're going to find the same result. When we mention that save time in your search, it's because in the program, you can save the searches that you want to do. So if you are searching for particular products or particular brands or in a particular country, you can save that search and then update it once you log in again to your account. And you can refresh those results instead of having to search again for the same parameters or criteria. Also, well, monitor the whole region. As we mentioned, the program allows you to enforce your rights in all the 18 countries from a single account. And in that account, as Bobby was mentioning before, you can upload all the IP rights you may have in your portfolio. So not only trademarks, but also copyrights, patent, related rights, industrial designs, plant breeders' rights. It's something that we included in our program very recently. And you can upload the information and documentation regarding those valid and enforceable rights in your account and then start reporting without having to add or submit information on your rights each time you report a listing. Of course, to save time and to make it more friendly, you can report either individually the listings or in bulk. So mainly for trademark infringements, this is a huge benefit for the participants in the brand protection program because you can select the listings and then submit the report of all the listings you have submitted in only one time. Also, when you receive a counter notification, and perhaps it's good to clarify this if it's something that comes up in a question in the next few minutes. The company has turned 25 years old this year. And we launched the first version of the Notice and Takedown program a few months after the incorporation of the company in the year 2000. So back at that time, in our region, in the Latin American region, there was no regulation regarding how a notice and takedown mechanism should work. So we relied on the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, on the flow on how this looked like. Bobby mentioned that you have a notice. We immediately remove the listing. We provide the possibility for the user to submit a counter notification. There are a few differences with DMCA because we don't restate the listing after we receive a counter notification, but it's more or less the same flow. So for you to understand, when you receive a counter notification, we don't reinstate that listing because the final decision it's on the IP owner that reported the listing, but we allowed you to review the counter notifications, all the counter notifications that you receive in one tab. So the program is friendly in that sense. You can manage all the different notices or counter notifications that you may have from a single screen. Also, you can create reports. You can download reports of your activity in the program. And that way, if you need to internally in your company or in your law firm report the activity that you have been following through your account in the brand protection program, you can download a report in which you're going to find the listings that were reported, the listings that were removed, those that receive a counter notification, which was your decision regarding those counter notifications. And also you have a support channel to contact directly with the team at the operation of the program. And this is important because of two reasons. First, you can have contact with a specialized team that only attends or addresses IP infringement matters. But also it's the same support channel, the same form that you can use to request information from the sellers that were behind the listings that you reported. There's no need of a court order or any official notification sent to the platform for you to obtain information on the sellers. You only have to write on the online form requesting that information, and we're going to reply to you within the 24 or 72 hours with the information of the sellers reported. Mercedes also left a question regarding repeat offenders policy, but I'm going to address that later. So we don't request any waiver of rights, and this is a one-stop destination in which you can manage all the notices that you have made. Bobby? Thank you. So what happens when we reject the notice? Because this can happen. And it's mainly associated with the fact that sometimes IP owners or their proxies forget to upload all the rights that they want to enforce. So they start reporting listings without having those information or documentation regarding those rights that you're enforcing in your account. In that sense, even though we don't review notices, we don't review counter notifications submitted by the sellers, we do try to understand whether what a notice is flagging is associated with an IP right that has been uploaded in the account. So in this sense, through the brand protection program, you have the possibility to see why we rejected the notices, if that was the case, that you submitted through the program. In that sense, you can see whether we say we don't have information on any trademark register that has been shown the listing for it. So you can understand whether the rejection came because the IP right was not uploaded in your account. Or also because sometimes instead of choosing a reason associated with trademark infringements, by mistake, the IP owner or their proxies choose a different reason related to other IP infringements like industrial designs or copyrights, and those rights were not uploaded in the account. So in that sense, if we don't find the IP right uploaded in the account, or if we find that we are selecting a reason to report the listing that might not appear the correct one, we're going to reject it. We are going to let you know which was the reason for the rejection for you to understand and perhaps upload the rights or submit or report again the listing under the correct reason. Another reason to reject listings is that sometimes IP owners forget to upload in their account any renewal of the rights. Of course, as Fabi was mentioning before, you can enforce any type of rights. In the case of copyrights, where registration is not mandatory and the protection is worldwide, you don't have to deal with expiration of rights. But for industrial property rights, like trademarks, like patents, like industrial designs, you need to be careful and aware that once the right or the title, the certificate has expired, this is something that the system will alert you. So, of course, you can upload the application for renewal, and we're going to take that into account, and you will be able to continue reporting until you are granted with a new certificate. But it's important to keep in mind that when your rights are expiring, you need to upload in your account the application of renewal. So we understand that you are keeping that right to keep being enforceable and valid. And of course, for any questions you may have regarding this, you have the support channel that we have for the team to assist you with any issue you may have. Bobby?
Yes. Well, and the program allows, as Guada was mentioning, the program allows you to report and protect your IP rights. But of course, we do have some do's and don'ts. Basically, talking about the do's, you can report listings individually or in a bulk, which is a great facilitator given the volume of listings that we have. As Guada mentioned before, we have more than 140,000 listings uploaded or edited in the platform every hour. So being able to report these listings in a bulk, it's a very facilitator. It's very nice to have for all the IP rights owners and representatives. You may also report listings even if they are paused. I mean, after someone else has reported that listing. You may enroll all of your IP portfolio in one single account, and that means you can include rights you may have in all of the 18 countries of Latin America that Mercado Livre operates in one single account, and also all types of rights in this same account. So you can upload your trademarks, your copyrights, your industrial designs, and all of your IP rights in one single account. You will be able to review seller's counter notice, as mentioned before. You can reactivate listings directly through your account, very easy. And you can create different profiles in your account and also review the status of your IP rights you enroll. Having different profiles, it's also very helpful because that allows you to have many people from your team reporting and using the platform and the tool. And finally, you can also check your account's efficiency. And when we are talking about the efficiency, what we mean is your efficiency, the efficiency of your account is measured based on the reports made correctly. That means choosing the right reason, having your rights still valid in your account. And the better and the more you report, the more efficient your account will be. And now moving on to the don'ts. You cannot flag listings based on grounds different than your intellectual property rights infringements, such as price control and distribution channels. Those are things you cannot report or control. You cannot report alleged infringements of rights not enrolled in your account. So you need to upload the corresponding right to be able to report it based on that right. And also, you cannot report listings based on rights that have already expired. As I have just mentioned, you need to have your rights duly valid in your account. You can also not select a ground that does not match with the infringements described. So when you report, you're going to have the valid rights uploaded to your account, and you're also going to need to choose the corrected reason for why you're reporting that listing. And finally, we recommend to don't disclose personal information through the public email. And now back to you, Guada.
Thank you, Bobby. And Mercedes has left another question, and I think I'm going to answer that before moving forward with the next slide.
Perfect.
Mercedes is asking if the seller has access to the information of the person that submitted the complaint, and that is a great question, Mercedes. When Bobby mentioned before the information that we request for you to enroll in the program, we mentioned that we needed different types or kinds of information from your side, and also you to select, and it's something that appears in this slide as well, a public email that we can share with the seller. So for you to know the information that we share with the seller regarding the notice or the claim or the complaint that you submitted is only which right was infringed, who is reporting, and this is the name that you select to be public in your account, and the email address that you allowed us to share with the seller. That is the only information that we share. And we share that information also inspired with the flow that the DMCA back at that time established with this kind of online enforcement. So the seller can, after you decide that the listing should be permanently removed, get in contact with you just to better understand the infringement or to reach an agreement with you. But that is the only information regarding the IP owner or the proxy that we share with the seller. So I hope that I fully answer your question, but just please let me know. So moving forward regarding the proactive approach. Yes, thank you. So you might have identified that we have went through different stages. We started like all the big players and marketplaces in the world. We started with the reactive approach. We have made available a notice and takedown mechanism and removed the listings that were reported through that. In the year 2018, we start trying to learn from those notices in order for us to proactively remove listings that might include a general infringing trend or pattern. So back at that time, we start reviewing the notices, trying to identify those general trends of infringements. And when I say proactively, is that we remove listings without the need of the IP owner or the proxy to report them through the brand protection program. So last year, after more than 5 years of beginning with these proactive measures, the numbers of 2023 are the ones that appear in the slide. While we removed more than 714,000 listings based on notices received from the BPP participants, we proactively removed more than 6 million listings. So this means that we removed last year 8 more times listings proactively than the ones that were reported through the One Protection Program. And this is something that is going to answer one of Marcela's questions that she left in the chat. As a result of those removals, of those listing removals, we permanently restrict more than 19,000 sellers across the region last year. So what you are going to find is that if we put these numbers in percentages, last year, from the total number of listings that were removed due to IP infringements, 88% was proactively removed, and the remaining 12% was because of reports or notices submitted by the IP owners or the proxies through our brand protection program. What happens when either a seller is one of their listings is reported or proactively removed? We analyze the seller and we apply additional sanctions. And this is something that may answer Mercedes' question. We have this repeat offenders policy in which we send a warning after removing a listing or apply a temporal suspension that could be from 2 or 5 days or the permanent restriction to sell. And this is something that it's not because only one listing was removed, is that because we analyze the store of the seller and see whether it's a repeat offender or the size of the store has a huge volume of infringing listings. In that sense, we apply these additional sanctions, not only removing the listing, but also sanctioning the seller. And this is something to do with what we all know about the whack-a-mole phenomenon, because otherwise, if we only remove listing, we will always be on that phenomenon, that whack-a-mole. So having a strong IP repeat offenders policy and applying this sanction is very important for us in terms of really cleaning our marketplace. And you might want to understand how we prevent a seller that was restricted, that was sanctioned, from coming back to the platform. So, Bobby, do you want to move forward? Great, thank you. So for you to know, we validate the identity of our sellers. We started in the year 2021 with this Know Your Customer, or KYC initiative, that of course it's not only related to IP infringements, but it was a solution that the fraud prevention team developed just to try to tackle any kind of frauds in our platform. But of course it was very beneficial for us because in this sense, once you validate the information of the seller in our platform, you know that when an IP owner requests information of the seller through our form in the BPP, we know that we are providing accurate and validated information of the seller. And also, when we restrict the seller or sanction a seller, we cross information with any applicant that wants to come again or open an account, a user account in our platform. And if that is the same seller that we sanction or remove or account was shut down, we don't allow them to reopen an account in our platform. So for you to understand how this validation, identity validation process works, you are going to see in the screen that we ask for the photo of the ID card, that we then ask for a live video, a live proof of the person that wants to open the account. And then with those pieces of information, we validate whether that is a person in public or private bureaus. In that sense, we don't allow someone to sell or keep selling in this sense if their identity is not validated by us. Bobby, can we move forward? Oh, I leave Bobby and then I will complement.
Perfect. Well, another initiative that we have in Mercado Libre is the Mercado Libre Anti-Counterfeiting Alliance, or as we call it, the MACA, which is a regional partnership initiative between Mercado Libre and 26 global brands to combat online trade of counterfeit and pirate goods, and also to ensure the most reliable shopping experience in Latin America. In the alliance, we have a ratio of 25 more listings proactively removed compared to those reported by partners through the BPP. And this proportion is more significant in the alliance because in the alliance, the removals are made using semantic algorithms and logo detections based on the reports in the BPP and in information provided directly by the brands. So that permits that allow us to have a very broad approach of the matter. And in the alliance, furthermore, we have 28 criminal complaints already filed within the framework of our alliance. And what we do here in the MACA is that we conduct internal investigations and we share those results and those informations with the right owners and holders to jointly decide on targets, on legal strategies, and on authorities through the cases in which the cases will be filed. So currently, the MACA has successfully made an impact in the region that has resulted in the seizure of over 22 tons of counterfeit products. That is a lot. It's very representative, and it's something that makes us very proud of our initiatives and of our tools. And with that, we conclude our presentations. I don't know if Guada had something to sum before.
Yeah, Bobby, just to point out that I think that we're going to circulate the presentation
Oh, yes.
afterwards, and you're going to find, as you might see, the landing page. You're going to find the landing page, the links to the landing page of the Brand Protection Program and of the Mercado Libre Anti-Counterfeiting Alliance, including the PPT. But we will also share with Fernanda and Patricia the latest transparency report that was released a week ago, so you can have the latest version. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much for all of you for listening.
Well,
Perfect.
thank you, Guada and Babi, for this amazing presentation. Very rich in details, and I think we all are now experts in BPP and MACA. I would like to congratulate Mercado Livre for such initiatives. I think it shows Mercado Livre's compromise in protecting the IP owners and their assets in the platform, but also is a respect with our consumers that knows that the business conducted in the platform are very serious and so they can trust. I would also, I'm a user from BPP, and I can tell it's very easy to use, and I think now it will be even more easier with all the information that you have shared. And I would like to incentivize everybody to use BPP, not only because it's a unique opportunity to monitor all the listenings and have an effective and cost-effective, obviously, way to have these listenings taken down without the need of a court order, which we know it's a requirement in our country, at least in Brazil, to proceed. And also because of the machine learning. So every time we report a listening, that means that the platform will be able to remove, well, I think the number is 8, right? So eight times more.
Nine
And
times
so
more.
9 times more.
9 times.
So that's an amazing number. So I think everybody should use it because it will also help the platform to be more and more effective. And now I will open to questions from the audience. I think we have, well, Guada had made my work here very easy as a moderator. Thank you, Guada, for answering the questions. I think it was very easy to understand. And we have some more questions from the audience, and I'm going to read some of them for you, okay? So, hello, I'm an attorney who has some questions about my specific clients. Who would be a good person to reach out to further questions?
I think that Fernanda and Patricia will circulate our contact information. We do have a team, and we do have specific persons inside of our team that are in charge of participants' engagement. So if you want to reach out to us, telling us your concerns or any matters you may have or be facing with the brand protection program, we can put you in contact with them. Don't worry about that.
So I personally have a question. If you are talking about a trademark which is not registered in Brazil, for instance, this owner can still use BPP to notify the listenings?
Well, that is a great question, Fernanda, because sometimes IP owners that are global companies have different experiences in other parts of the world because the regulation is different. But in our region, all the countries share the same regulation in terms that rights are only granted through certification, through registration of the trademark. So unfortunately, if it's not a renewal, if it's the first application of a trademark and has not yet been granted, you cannot enforce that. It's not a Mercado Libre's decision, it's based on the regulation that we have in our region. But as I mentioned before, if it's a renewal of a trademark that was already granted, of course you will keep enforcing that and won't have any problem in reporting to the BPP until you have the new certificate.
Sure, I think that makes total sense, Guada. Thank you. And we have another question for our audience. And what about very famous trademarks?
Well, this is a very good question. Not all trademarks has this recognition, but in our region, different countries are either administrative or judicial recognition of well-known trademarks. And if you have that recognition, you can submit that in your account as well. And you will be able to report, and this is something that because of the is something that is beneficial for well-known brands, in which they can report listings or products that are not part of the class that was registered, specifically registered. So you will have that benefit if you upload, like you would with a trademark certificate, the document, either administrative or the court ruling in which your trademark has been recognized as a well-known trademark. And that has to be in our region. I also mentioned this because some IP owners provide recognitions in other parts of the world. And according to our local regulation, we need that to be granted by a local authority.
Thank you, Guada. I think that answers the question.
Fernanda,
Well,
we
hi,
received
Patricia.
a question by mail
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
Guada
sure.
and Bobby. Can I ask it?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. They would like to know what initiatives are being taken on combat cases of gray market, original and irregular products within the country on the Mercado Livre platform.
Well, that is a very good question, because it's good to clarify this, as we mentioned that in one of the slides. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have a regulatory affairs team that enforce on regulatory matters and prohibited products. So it's not our field of expertise, but they do have very similar solutions like the one that we have just comment on regarding IP infringements. So regarding regulatory matters, there are policies, there are enforcement of those policies, there are agreements with authorities and private sector, and there's exclusive channel for authorities for them to report them. Regarding gray market, and this is something that is very frequent questioned by different IP owners. In our region, as we mentioned before, we operate in 18 countries, and our solutions are regional, so the account is a regional one for you to enforce in all the countries. There's a difference between Brazil and the rest of the countries in our region. And it has to be with the principle of extortion that each of the countries adopts. In that sense, Brazil has a very different point of view, and the extortion principle that is being adopted by Brazil, it's the national one. So parallel imports of products that have not been launched by the IP owner or whether authorization in Brazil can be tackled as trademark infringements. This is not the same in the rest of the countries, in which we follow a different extortion principle, the international one. So like the first sale doctrine, any first sale that happened in any part of the world means that the IP owner or the trademark owner cannot report as an infringement those consecutive or successive sales of the original product. So in that sense, in our region, gray market has different solutions, in which in Brazil it can be taken as a trademark infringement, while in the rest of the countries it cannot. So that is why when Barbie mentioned that particular reason to report on the grounds of trademark infringement has this difference of how using that reason to report listings in Brazil than in the rest of the countries. I don't know, Bobby, if you want to compliment me.
No, you covered it all, Guada.
Well, thank you, girls. Now I'd like to make a question about MACA. I would like to know, how does Meli work with the brands to combat online and offline infringements in MACA? And also the second question, how does a company join MACA? What's the criteria that apply for a company to be considered as eligible to participate in this initiative?
Well, you're going to find in the presentation the link to the landing page of the MACA. So you're going to find there the eligibility criteria that you may find. First of all, you need to be a participant in the brand protection program, and you need to be reporting, because in that sense, we can understand whether you are a high target of abuse or you don't have a counterfeit product. Just remember that this initiative specifically focuses on counterfeit and piracy. So we don't work with brands on, for instance, industrial design infringements. In that sense, that is why, first of all, it's very important to be an active reporting participant of the brand protection program. And of course, to have this regional and granted rights portfolio in the countries in which we operate. Of course, you're going to find more information in the link of the landing page, and you will find a form through which you can contact us just to understand whether that you fulfill the criteria. I don't know, Fernanda, if it was another question before that.
No, I think you covered all.
Okay, great.
I think somebody raised the hand at our chat. Luana Martinelli, you have to write your question in the chat so you can see it and pass through our speakers, if you would like. So, well, I think maybe she's shy. So, well, I think the presentation covered so many aspects of this program, and well, I think if somebody has not other questions, maybe we can wrap it up because I think we have already covered all these aspects, and well, I think we can learn more by using the platform. I think this is the best way to learn how to improve it and to use it and to learn about all the features of them. And so thank you very much again, Babi and Guada, for accepting our invitation and joining us today. I think it was very useful to everybody that has attended.
No, thank you very much. And again, thank you both, Patricia and Fernanda, and the Dannemann team for this opportunity, and for everyone who was listening. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you.
Sorry, Patricia. Thank you, Fernanda.
please.
Thank you, Patricia. And thank you, all the audience. It was amazing. I hope everyone has enjoyed as we enjoyed being here with you all today.
Thank you, Barbara and Guada and Fernanda, for all the knowledge you share with us today. We learned a lot. And I would like to thank the audience and invite them to follow IDS throughout social medias and website. Every week we have new contents for you guys. So it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.